Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, I'm not going to say it a third time, dropped in theaters yesterday, and I got a chance to see it yesterday. So let's talk about it. Let's go. So yes, guys, I did see Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
When you're all driving, carpool, and banging your Pilates instructors to fill the empty voids in your life, we'll see who gets the last laugh.
This is a sequel to the 1988 film called Beetlejuice. And we got a great cast with this film. It's starring Jenna Ortega, Willem Dafoe, and we got some returning members like Catherine O'Hara and Winona Ryder as Lydia Dietz, and of course Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice. Now guys, I actually bought the popcorn bucket. This is my first ever popcorn bucket. I love it. I'm collecting popcorn buckets now. I missed out on all the other ones that came out this year. And I literally love this thing. I also got the cup. Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of the first one, just saying. I think that's like a 4 or 5 out of 10. I think that it's just not like good movie at all. Sorry, I just woke up. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. Let's go. The film begins with like all the credits like the first one where it's like showing the entire town. We see the place where the crash happened in the first film and stuff, and then we see Lydia working on something. Sorry. And yeah, and now she's in the city working, I think, like on this like show or something. Yeah, so she's doing that. And yeah, she's just working on that, and she has a boyfriend now. I forget his name, but she has a boyfriend now, who is this crappy, annoying character, who just all he cares about is money, but we don't know that till like the end. So that happens. Then we see this guy who's just walking, and then he falls down into a sewer, and now he's in this place, so he's dead, and he's in the place, the afterlife place. And he sees a janitor who's actually played by Danny DeVito, which is kind of cool. And he's the janitor, and he tells the guy where to go. And the janitor hears something, and he goes to check it out. And this like box falls down, and it's like a Frankenstein girl. And Danny DeVito's character like gets blasted and gets electrocuted. But he's not dead. He just like falls. And she wakes up, and she like puts herself together with a staple. Like with her head, body, legs, arms, everything. And the guy says she can't be here. And then she says, "Where's Beetlejuice?" And she's a soul sucker. So she sucks the soul out of Danny DeVito, and he's our first kill of the movie. So then, after that, we meet up with, what's her name? Sorry, Lydia Dietz. I am not thinking today. I can't really think when I just woke up. So yeah, she gets a text from her stepmother, who's played by Catherine O'Hara. So Lydia goes to see what happened, and she says that Charles is dead. And Charles is the husband of her. It's Lydia's actual father. And yeah, he died from a shark attack. So he crashed in a plane. He survived. And they thought he died from a plane crash or drowned. Surprisingly, no, a shark killed him. That was hilarious. Yeah, so then after that, or they decide to do a funeral and they have to get the family back together. And Catherine O'Hara's character, I'm sorry, I forget her name, doesn't like Lydia's boyfriend, so she wants them to break up. But again, she has no control over that. And then they go to school, and we see Astrid, who is played by Jenna Ortega. And by the way, Jenna Ortega is great in this movie. Like, she's one of my favorite actresses, and she's just fantastic in this film. This movie just suits her. Just like horror films are her kind of thing, and this is a horror comedy, so I think it fits with her, everything. Alright, so she's just at school for girls, and her mom, or her grandma, you know who that is, comes and starts screaming at her that grandpa's dead. She comes down, and she's really, really mad at her mom because her mom basically is choosing, she doesn't believe ghosts are real, so she doesn't like her mom because she's thinking that her mom chose ghosts over her. And by the way, so I guess Lydia was married to someone else before, but then they split up, and then the guy died. So she's also really sad about that because Astrid loved her dad. So yeah. And then the funeral day comes. Alright, the funeral day comes. And they're all at the funeral and stuff, just eating and talking. The boyfriend, Lydia's boyfriend, comes up to Astrid and says, "If you need anything, I'll be like your dad or something." So she gets upset and just leaves. And then he makes a toast. But I guess Charles didn't like the toast thing. And then he asks Lydia to marry him. Like, he proposes. She says she doesn't know, but then he, says love is bungee jumping. And again, he's just an annoying, crappy character. Just saying. Jeez. So then after that, she finally agrees, and then Astrid gets more upset and grabs her bike and goes riding down. She almost crashes into a couple cars, and then she crashes, through this guy's fence and meets this kid who's on a treehouse and invites her to come up, and they start talking, and she says that Lydia Dietz is her mother, and then he's like, she's a legend, stuff like that. So then we go back to the afterlife, and we actually see Charles's half-dead body, which is hilarious. And then we see Willem Dafoe for the first time. He's an actor, and he wants to be a police officer, like a detective. So he pretends he is a lot. So yeah, he did that. And then we see the guy who dropped into the sewer back in the beginning. He goes to this, the cleaners, so that he can, get him to do something. And then he says no, and the guy leaves. Then the cleaner guy, he hears something, goes to see it, and then it's the girl who comes and sucks his soul out. So that's the second kill of the film. So then we get back to everyone, and then she says she needs to leave. And the guy offers for her to come on Halloween, or come over tomorrow, then the next day on Halloween, so they can have a party. Astrid, agrees and says, "Let's do it." Now, I forgot about Beetlejuice, alright? So I forgot about Beetlejuice. We see him for the first time, and he's just, looking at a picture of Lydia. And we see all those guys. We see Bob and then all his other henchmen, I guess. And then Willem Dafoe's character, the detective guy, asks to see him, and he says that there's this girl who's trying to hunt him down. And then he suggests that he goes into hiding, which Beetlejuice does. And does that. Astrid comes home and she goes in the attic. Right? She's in the attic and she sees this like paper that says Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. So yeah, and then Lydia comes up and starts talking to her. And Astrid says that like she misses her dad and stuff, and she found a book of her dad and asks if she can keep it, and she says yeah. And then Lydia sees the paper, and Astrid says, "Who's Beetlejuice?" And then Lydia gets kind of mad and says, "Don't ever say that name." She says it again, and then she tells Astrid to leave, so luckily she didn't say it the third time. And then she's just standing there, and then her boyfriend comes up and asks what's going on, and then he doesn't really believe the ghost, so then he just says, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. And they go into the world, or in the afterlife place, and they see Beetlejuice. Like, they fall down this, like, thing, and then they drop in the chairs, and then he's pretending to be, like, a therapist. He's like, spill your guts, and he actually, like, his guts come out. So then they're talking, but then Lydia says, home, home, home. So they go back. And then the funniest part, he's singing a song. I forget what song it is, but he's singing a song on the model. That was an hilarious part. I love that part. Yeah, it was just hilarious. So, yeah, got to see that. So then after that, we see Astrid is at her, I guess I would say boyfriend. Why not? Boyfriend's house. And they're just talking again. He shows them, or he shows Astrid his parents. I mean, not really. Like, we don't really see them. They're just talking. They go upstairs and we start talking again. Yeah, and then he invites her to come here on Halloween, so she can go there instead of the wedding, because the wedding's also on Halloween, and she doesn't want to go to that. So then everything gets set up. So she decides to do that. She gets her permission from her mother, and then we see the mom, Catherine O'Hara's character, is like playing with these, like, shows Astrid these snakes. She says that they don't have venom in them. And yeah. And then she says she's going to go to, before the wedding, she's going to go to Charles and visit him with the snakes. Yeah. That's what's going to happen. So then Lydia goes and drops off Astrid at the house. Yeah, at the boy's house. So then, again, they're discussing stuff. And then they kiss. They start kissing. And they float in the air and stuff. Yeah. They float in the air, and then she's wondering what is he in it. I guess he is a ghost. So that is not good at all. He is a ghost. So then he says that he can come back to the real world if they go to the afterlife and do this thing. So she agrees to do that, and they go. But then Lydia, this random girl, talks about this murder house, and apparently the boy who she likes killed his parents, and then he went in his treehouse and snapped his neck. So I guess that's what happened. So then Lydia runs and drives over, and she gets the house and stuff, sees the parents, and they're dead. Like, one of them has scissors or something through them, the other one does. I don't know. They're dead, for sure. They got kills, weapons in them. So then she runs up and barely makes it, and they go to the afterworld. So then she actually says, Beetlejuice, 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 to get help. So Beetlejuice comes in, and he says she agrees to marry him, but he has to help her get her daughter back. So they go in to the afterworld. And then we see Catherine O'Hara's character at the graveyard. She pulls up a snake, and actually they do a venom in them and get her, and she dies. Goes to the afterworld as well. So Beetlejuice tells her where the train is, and then he goes to the restroom. And we see Willem Dafoe's character questioning Bob, because all of the other ones left. The henchmen went to the real world, except for Bob. And then Willem Dafoe's character leaves, and then the Frankenstein girl, we see her again. She comes and sucks the soul out of Bob. Poor Bob. So he's our third kill of the movie. And then the girl and guy are talking, or Astrid and boyfriend, I guess. And then she gets a picture taken, and she's like, what is that? And then he tells her that she just agreed to switch lives with him, that she'll stay there forever, and he will go to the real world and live his life. She gets angry, and then these guys grab her, and they're going to pull her to the train. The soul train, I guess. That's what they call it. And then she passes by her dad, who died in a boat accident. I was eaten by piranhas, I guess. And then, yeah. And she gets armed, but then Lydia comes, rescues her, and everyone's looking for her. Willem Dafoe and his henchmen, guys, are looking for Beetlejuice and Lydia. But they can't find them. So she rescues them, and then they go through this emergency exit, and they go into the world. It's your time to shine, buddy. The worms come in, start trying to eat them, and then the dad comes in and rescues them. And they hug and they talk for a little bit, because it's Lydia's husband and Astrid's dad, of course. And then after that, they go to the real world, or they are about to, and they see the guy who, if he gets stamped, then he gets to go to the real world. And he's about to, and he gets stamped, and he's like, yay. And then it's actually Beetlejuice, and then he falls to this fire pit and dies. So, weird ending to the character, but that's okay, I guess. I think that he should have had more, death, whatever, but, yeah, so he's our fourth kill of the film. Kill, I should say, because he already died. He died for sure, he's full on dead. Alright, next, what happens is, they all go back home, and they go to the wedding and stuff, and they get ready. But then Beetlejuice comes in, and he's like, we have to get married, I helped you. So then she agrees. And then he puts this, truth serum into the guy. He's like, hey, stop. And then he puts the truth serum into the guy, and then he tells, that he only liked Lydia for the money and stuff. So she gets angry and, punches him. And so he gets knocked out. And then he, decides to, suck all these people into the phone, so they're all gone, so they have no privacy. And then he does this, song thing, he starts singing a song, and he's dancing with Lydia, and they're floating in the air and stuff. It's a nice scene, it's hilarious. And then we see Willem Dafoe's detective guy with all his, guys, and they're, in the graveyard, doing like cool tricks, like they're ninjas or something. It's hilarious. I laughed, and he kind of looks like Terminator, and his like cool sunglasses. So that was hilarious. So then they come in, but then he freezes all of them, and like then the Frankenstein girl comes in, and yeah, and then he like makes a shirt that says "I love Dolores." That's the Frankenstein's girl's name. On the boyfriend, who like the crappy boyfriend. So that's what he says, and that's hilarious. And then the giant worms come in and eat them, and that kills them. And that's basically it. Yeah, so Dolores is dead. Dolores is dead. The boyfriend, the crappy boyfriend, is dead. And yeah, so everything is good. Then Beetlejuice, he goes back to the afterlife again, and Willem Dafoe and his army, whatever, soldiers take the stepmom, to the afterlife because she is dead. So it's just Astrid and Lydia now. And then they go to this like Dracula place because that's her dream place to go to. She's going to do that with her dad. So they go to that, and then it shows her getting married. Astrid gets married, has a baby, but then the baby's this like Beetlejuice baby that kills the nurses, starts like eating them alive, and it's hilarious. But then it's just a dream, and then Beetlejuice is in her bed, and he's just like, I had a weirdest dream, and then she wakes up again. That was hilarious. But yeah, that is the review. Please let me know if you loved it, liked it, hated it, thought it was okay. Please let me know what you thought of Beetlejuice. I personally thought that this is a really, really good movie. It's easily the top 10 of the year. I actually had a blast with this movie. It's hilarious, and it has more horror stuff than the first one. I just didn't like the first one, but this one, there's actual kills in the movie. It's more of a horror movie than the first one. It just does everything great. I think it's like an 8.5 out of 10. I had a blast with this movie. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed, like and subscribe. Have a good one, everyone. See ya.